Yo, what is up, CFO gang? It's your boy Jay Tuck. Day two of the NFL draft is just wrapped up. Think that rhyme. Think that rhyme, man. You know what I'm saying? I just got back from the hotel. Had another fun day out there at the NFL draft. Today I was out there amongst the fans. I was outside for the first pick. And then it was too cold, man. It was cold and raining. So I had to, go to the bar. So I went to the bar, hung out with a bunch of Packers fans, had a good old time, man. So salute to everybody in Green Bay, Wisconsin. I had a blast, man. This is a cool ass town. Packers fans, they were A1. Had a lot of good conversations with a lot of good people, man. So I had a blast at the NFL draft. And I'll definitely be back. I'll say they're like, yo, you have to come back for a football game. So I'll definitely be back. So let's go ahead and dive into it because I know a lot of people are kind of waiting. I really didn't do a recap because by the time I got home last night, it was like 2:30 in the morning. But salute to everyone who's watched the Tyler Booker interview in the press conference. I did that for y'all because Tyler Booker was one of the last people to come out. And I was like, all right, bro, I'm getting ready to leave. I was like, nah, Tug, keep staying because you never gotten the opportunity to interview a Dallas Cowboys draft pick at the post-draft presser. So stick it out, Tug. So he finally came out damn near like 11 or something like that. Got the interview, posted it. And I'll say this. So let's go to yesterday's pick. Salute to everybody in the chat. L Rock in the chat, man. See Professor O in the chat. What up, everybody? What up, Sin City? What up, Sadiqa? What's up, everybody? We're going to get to all y'all questions and let it rip. I am flying back out in the morning. I got to fly back like at 5 in the morning. So shit, I might just stay up tonight. But this is what it is, right? All right. So Tyler Booker. All right. You saw the live stream we kind of did during the pick. Honestly, me personally, you guys know me personally, I like Matthew Golden. I would have leaned towards Matthew Golden. But I think what happens sometimes is that people get confused on things I will do versus what the Cowboys would do, right? And I think that's the non-fun part. And I tell you guys all the time, right? All the time. Listen, I know the mock draft simulators are fun. I know all these conversations that we have are fun, but eventually we have to start thinking like, what would the Cowboys do? And the Cowboys have told us many times who they really are. It's just up to us to finally listen, right? So would Jay Tuck have gone Matthew Golden at pick 12? Yes, I would have, me personally, right? But did I think the Cowboys would possibly do it? No, I was hoping they would do it. But like I said in the pre-draft show when I spoke with Lou and DMV, there was a lot of signs really, oh shit, Callie, I forgot he's still available. There was a lot of signs pointing to Tyler Booker, right? As I mentioned, young offensive lineman, IMG Academy, Alabama, played versus those Georgia Bulldogs that the Philadelphia Eagles are loading up on, trained with Big Duke, only 21 years old, upside potential, leadership. So all the things that the Cowboys really like to pin, it really circled Tyler Booker, right? So I would not be surprised if they went and got Tyler Booker, which they ended up making the move, right? So yesterday they got Tyler Booker. And I will say this when it comes to Tyler Booker, the player I love. And I think that's going to be a common trend when it comes to all three of these picks, right? Tyler Booker, the player, well, I won't say I love, I like, right? I like the player in Tyler Booker. I like the upside potential. I do feel like he is an upgrade over Brock Hoffman or whoever we was going to play at right guard. Violent, Mauler. I know a lot of people saw the colorful chart in the RAS score. They freak out and they want to kind of hold that against him, that he's not athletic, like he's a corner and he needs to run a 4.2 or something like that. Is he the most bendiest corner or bendiest guard? No, but he can move laterally. He can move enough. And it's not like we're going to be pulling every play, right? But the thing that we really wanted a guy is that when we're running these duos, being double team, right, with the center and the guard, that can move people off the line of scrimmage. And I'm excited to see Tyler Booker next with Cooper Beebe and have them going out there and actually moving some shit. Yeah, we might need to Trademark that. You know what I'm saying? We might need to trademark that. Oh, and say it with me. Raz is ass, man. You know what I'm saying? Raz is ass, man. You know what I'm saying? Because those Raz scores, they be getting people goofy, right? You know what I'm saying? Those. I think Knicks may have posted it. He posted Travis Frederick's Raz score, and I'm gonna tell you guys, like, so I saw, Travis Frederick just announced the day 2 picks for Dallas Cowboys. And I got to see Travis Frederick up close and personal. He can still play. Travis Frederick can still play, man. He's still built like a house. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, hey, bro, Travis, he's still built like a house. You know what I'm saying? So Travis Frederick, he's, you know what I'm saying? He can definitely still move some shit if he needs to, man. So salute to T Fred. But overall, Tyler Booker, man, he's physical. He's a mauler. I like his leadership. You guys saw the interview. And he has a CEO presence. This is what I kind of call it when it comes to these kids, right? A CEO presence of a guy that's going to kind of go out there and just handle business. Salute to my dog, man. What's going on with you, bro? Pastor Carl in the building, man. Y'all here working, man. My voice is kind of gone, It's funny because I was at the bar, right? Sitting around talking draft, and it's like some Saints fans next to me, some Packers fans or Raiders fans. And so they're kind of just talking to me about the draft. And I'm just doing what I do, right? Just talking draft, talking players, going through all the picks. And one guy paused and was like, bro, who the hell are you? And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, how do you know all this stuff? Like, you're just breaking down the Raiders draft picks and Raiders draft picks. Like, how do you know all these damn kids? And I was like, oh, hold on. I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Hold up. You know what I'm saying? I actually know a thing or two. You know what I'm saying? I actually know a thing or two. I'm just not a Cowboys fan just sitting at the bar. I actually know a thing or two. He's like, bro, you're kind of just break, because he was like, he was talking about, because the Saints got Kelvin Banks, Tyler Shough. I don't know. Like, I was high on Tyler Shough, but not like that. You know what I'm saying? Not like that. Not like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a small flex, Pastor Carl. So this is a small one. You know what I'm saying? It's just a little light flex. Man, I wish I could. I wish I could. Find those scouts who told me. No, they didn't tell me RJ Harvey wasn't a day 2 guy. They told me he wasn't going to get drafted. They told me that RJ Harvey was going to be an undrafted free agent. You know what I'm saying? And they're lucky I did not get their at, man. So, like I said, fun conversation. But getting back to Tyler Booker, like I said, he has a CEO presence, and I really like his demeanor. And I feel like he's a guy that's going to be, it's a spark plug, but not the spark plug that's going to get Cowboys fans excited. But he's going to bring high energy to our offensive line. And I think that what might happen, you have young Tyler Smith, who's kind of like the veteran now, which sounds crazy. You have young Tyler Smith. You have Cooper Beebe, right? And then you also have, now you brought in Tyler Booker. There might be a situation where if those 3 are taken off, that Tyler Guyton doesn't want to be the Khloe Kardashian. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be the Khloe Kardashian where, Tyler Smith is all pro, and Cooper Beebe's all pro and Pro Bowl, and look at Tyler Booker making a Pro Bowl in his rookie season. Then you have Tyler Guyton over here, and it's like, yeah, don't be the Khloe. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that will force Tyler Guyton to step his game up, right? And I'm not fully out on Tyler Guyton, but here's my concern when it comes to Tyler Guyton. You heard some things from Brian Schottenheimer. We heard some things, in-house about Tyler Guyton. You also heard Duke kind of talk about Tyler Guyton. So, hey, bro, there's a lot. Where there's smoke, there is fire, right? And so I feel like for Tyler Guyton, it's time to work, right? It's time to work because they did talk about playing the best 5, right? Playing the best 5. And that could be a situation where, hey, you might kick Tyler Smith to left tackle and leave Tyler Booker at left guard. And maybe you put Brock Hoffman at center and kick Cooper Beebe over to right guard. So you kind of have that flexibility. But Tyler Guyton can kind of go out there and roll up his sleeves and get to work and don't become the Khloe. Now, people say, hey, Khloe became a baddie. She came all right. But after the whole Lamar Odom situation happened, and you know what I'm saying, and James Harden, so she went through her cracks, and then she finally got herself together. But let's be honest, Chloe ain't no Kim. She ain't no, you know what I'm saying, she ain't no Courtney. You know what I'm saying? She ain't even no Kylie, and she damn near ain't no Kendall. You see what I'm saying? But I'm sure she's a very nice person, but she's not those four, right? So we need Tyler Guyton to go out there and put in some work to make sure he doesn't become the Khloe Kardashian of the crew. And Chloe's watching this on Twitter. I apologize, Chloe. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Chloe's only right after six surgeries, you know what I'm saying? Her husband OD'd in a brothel, and then you had four different cheating on by Tristan, and you know what I'm saying, all sorts of stuff, and French Montanas. It took a lot of work to get Chloe right. We ain't got time for all that when it comes to Tyler Guyton, bro. We ain't got time for all that. You got to get it right. You know what I'm saying? We got to get you right now. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the offensive line is finally fixed. Team trenches, take your victory lap. You got it. Congratulations. Team trenches. They just took us out to the woodshed, team weapons, and they beat us. You know what I'm saying? Team trenches took us behind a woodshed, and they beat us, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is. Congratulations. But like I said, overall, with the Tyler Booker pick, I am not mad at it. Now, getting into round two, I was sitting outside. So it's my guy Tom, man. Tom off of Twitter, man. I ran into Tom. He's actually from Wisconsin. We linked up at the bar, had a good old time out there. So we chilled for the second pick 44 out there. And man, when Jaden Higgins went, I was like, all right, that's what we needed, Tuck. That's what we needed. And fun thing, right? It was Tom had a friend who was actually a Bears fan, right? And they had somebody else really marked they really wanted, right? I think they were leaning towards Judkins. No, he wanted Travion Henderson. They wanted Travion Henderson in Chicago, right? So of course Judkins goes third. And this is something I've been telling you guys, right? I personally felt as we went through the process that Judkins would be possibly the third running back off the board, even before Henderson and even before Caleb Johnson. It was kind of a late push. Hey, thanks, bro. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you, dog. Appreciate you, my guy. A late push, right? It was a late push where Judkins went first over Henderson and also over Johnson. So boom, Judkins goes. Now, for me personally, that was a little of a rib shot. Like, damn, Cleveland. All right. All right, cool. That kind of hurt, right? But I still felt like there was a huge possibility that the Dallas Cowboys could have a situation where, all right, Luther Burden could be sitting there at 44. And the only team that really concerned me when it came to Luther Burden was San Francisco that was in front of us. And then Chicago was up, and I was like, okay, it's just Chicago, right? You know what I'm saying? No big deal, it's just Chicago, but they got DJ Moore, they got Roman Dunze, they got just draft Loveland. So it's like they're good with receiving weapons. So I wasn't even paying attention to the Chicago Bears. And they said with the pick, Chicago Bears select Luther Burden. I was just like, why? What are we doing? Y'all don't need Luther Burden, bro. What are we doing? But Ben Johnson is just loading up with a whole bunch of weapons, but they didn't need Luther Burden. So once Luther Burden got snatched, then my mindset sent to, all right, maybe Henderson will be available. All right. And then he went. All right. So once the Cowboys were on the board at 44, ideally I was thinking probably Will Johnson. And then when Donovan's name got called out of Boston College, I was shocked, right? Now, I will say this about Donovan, y'all, and I said this on Twitter. oh, the kid is good. Oh, the kid is good. The kid is really, really good. I really had a mock going to Philly. You know what I'm saying? I had a mock going to Philly. But Donovan, he is really good. I mean, go watch his tape versus Florida State. We'll get to the film when I get home tomorrow, right? But go watch him versus Florida State. I think he had 17 sacks, something like that, this past year at Boston College. Like, he is disruptive as hell. I just didn't think the Dallas Cowboys would be focusing on the edge rusher with Sam Williams, even though he's in a contract year coming off the ACL, even with drafting Marshawn Nealon in the second round, even with bringing Dante Fowler back. I felt like edge was completely just kind of out of it, right? And that's why I didn't really focus on it, with the pre-draft research, because I was like, no need for me breaking down film on Mike Green or some of those guys when I just felt like if there's any position that we actually kind of filled that void, right? We brought in Peyton Turner. If you want to count Solomon Thomas, even though he's going to be kind of a hybrid, I feel like we have more than enough on the perimeter when it comes to our defensive line. I thought interior may have been priority. But make no mistakes about it, Cowboys Nation. Donovan Ezeiruaku is a very good player. He is a first-round talent, right? And now the conversation is like, okay, well, what is the rotation? Where are we going, right? And I think that when you look at this Cowboys draft, I like and love the players, right? I like and love the players. It's just I still don't know how we're putting this together, right? It's like we're buying a bunch of shoes, but we ain't got the fit to go with it right now. I did that one time when I bought some LeBrons. They were like some pink LeBrons, like some Easter pink LeBrons. And they were some fly-ass LeBrons, but it's just like, Tuck, well, what are you going to wear this with? You know what I'm saying? What are you going to wear this with? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't know, but I just bought the shoes. You know what I'm saying? I saw some LeBrons. I like the color. I bought them, but I don't have nothing to go with them. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like right now we have the shoes, but we just we haven't put the whole fit together, right? And I feel like that's what Cowboys fans are waiting for, is to put the fit together. Y'all know I mentioned this last night in my quick recap. I like Tyler Booker. Yeah, we got the J's, but no fit, bro. I feel like we got the J's, but what are we going to wear this with, right? We got Tyler Booker. We want to establish this physical dominance at the line of scrimmage. Okay, cool. I get that point, but we ain't got the fit to match. We don't have the running back to match. And I know Jerry went out and spoke about Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders. They feel like they improved with the running back room there. Nah, that's not the fit, bro. That fit don't go with them shoes like that, right? That fit does not go with them shoes like that. And I'm just saying a difference in mindset. And I'll go back to the Chargers. And I'm not sure which one of y'all are Chargers fans or Chargers tapped in, because I feel like the Chargers take my draft advice every year. I don't know if I might as well turn in my resume and become the Chargers GM. I might as well change CFO to Chargers fans only, because Chargers, they listen to Jay Tuck. Now, the Chargers went out in free agency and brought in Najee Harris, right? Former high draft pick, played in Pittsburgh, but they didn't really want to keep him. The Chargers said, cool story, bro. I know that we got Najee Harris, but that ain't Amari and Hampton. Amari and Hampton, come on in. Right? They said, Amari and Hampton, come on in, bro. Hey, Najee, I appreciate you, what we got over here, right? But bringing in Najee Harris did not prevent the Chargers for bringing in Amari and Hampton, right? And I feel like when it comes to the Cowboys, I am going to crash out, as the kids would say, if we let Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders be the reason why we do not draft a running back. I feel like that is pure negligence, especially when it comes to this class, y'all. So I think my guy Zach Wolchuk kind of mentioned on Twitter, if it's me, I'm finding a way to get back in this fourth round. And I see people mentioning, hey, there's Devin Neal. I think there's still Caleb. I don't think Caleb Johnson's going. I was in the Uber, so I'm not sure. There's Tootin still available. But now once you get, Dylan Sampson's still available, I think. But you're getting thin. You're getting thin. You're getting to a situation kind of like last year where in the fourth round, the last cream of the crop running backs get snatched. And in the fifth, you're sitting there hoping to find a guy, right? So for me personally, I think we still need the fit to match. We still need the fit to match. And I like DJ Giddens, but that fit don't hit with those shoes in the club like that. You know what I'm saying? It don't hit with the, you know what I'm saying? I feel like DJ Giddens is very Deuce Vaughn. Honestly, if you line them up as far as player for player, pound for pound, I would say that Deuce Vaughn is a better back than DJ Giddens, to be honest with you. If you look at their careers at Kansas State, you see what I'm saying? And, DJ Giddens even mentioned to it, he modeled his game after Deuce Vaughn. You see what I'm saying? So, take that with a grain of salt. So, me personally, I think it's time to really focus on getting some offensive weapons. But here's where I'm at. And Aisha, so to my sis Aisha mentioned this. She mentioned this, right? My concern is that the Cowboys don't feel the need at wide receiver or urgency at wide receiver and running back like we do, which scares me. Because they're saying it, right? And I think the hard part is like, yes, Jerry and Steven and Shoddy, they kind of just talk, right? Talk. But sometimes they will tell you the truth. Sometimes they will tell you the truth. If you kind of just listen, they'll tell you the truth a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I think that us as Cowboys fans have to get to a point where we need to start listening to when they tell us they are who they are, right? Which is getting to the third pick, right? With Siobhan Rebel. Love him as a player. Love him as a prospect, right? We all know he's a first-round talent. You can possibly consider him a better talent than Will Johnson. So some people may consider him maybe even quarterback 1. I had him as cornerback 2, right? Without the injury. All right. But again, ACL injury. And if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan and you're hearing knee injury, ACL injury, it just scares you, right? It just scares you. Now, I see the reports that they're saying that he'll be back from July. But the thing that worries me about the Dallas Cowboys, one, they said, when they said our doctors worked on the surgery, anytime you hear our doctors had worked on the surgery, circle that name, Cowboys Nation. Circle it. Just circle it. Just circle it, right? But the thing that I do not trust when it comes to the Cowboys and these types of players, that's it, Quan. That's it, Quan. That is 1,000% it. That is my biggest concern when it comes to the ACL players, that the Dallas Cowboys will rush these players back at 80%. Shit, they might even do 75. And that's what concerns me when it comes to Siobhan, right? Damone Clark, Trayvon Diggs, Michael Gallup, right? Overshown's trying to rapid his return. Yeah, John Stevens. That's what concerns me about this pick, is that they will rush the hell out of you to return. And it's as you as a young, eager rookie looking to get out there, it's just like, okay, because that's the warrior mentality when it comes to a player. Players don't like being out because of injury. So if I know my knee is not feeling right, but the doctor says, hey, Tuck, you 100%. And they kind of guilt trip you into our doctor's saying you 100%, even though, hey, bro, when I'm playing, it's still, hey, but our doctors are saying you are 100%. They're trying to expect you to go out there and play. And then when things hit the cracks, right, when you're Trayvon Diggs-ish, it's just, his recovery and this and that, right? So it's a tricky situation because I saw someone post on Twitter. It was like, oh, he's on a treadmill, like the treadmill that I got at home. He hit 21 miles per hour. Running on a treadmill, coming off an ACL at 21 miles per hour, those the fast speed. That is not planning, jumping, cutting, tackling, twisting up, any of that, right? So don't rush this kid because we are in pretty much May, June, July. They are saying this kid will be ready to play in July. Do not rush this kid back because we are desperate at corner. Don't rush them back. So that is my only concern when it comes to Rebel is that. And we know the Cowboys are notorious for letting you go out there and play hurt. The list goes on. LVE, prime example. Ezekiel Elliott, I remember Zeke had the PCL strain or sprain, and they said that, Zeke went out and said, well, the only way I can overcome the pain is just continue to play through it. And so Zeke's out there pretty much playing on one bad knee. Like, the Cowboys will toss you out there broken and fractured. Dez Bryant, like, they will toss you out there broken and fractured and say, have at it. And sometimes you kind of get that pressure, like, and someone said, well, we are going to see Troy and Kyer and a lot and Carson. So Blake Jarwin, bro. There's been a lot of careers that the Cowboys have kind of ruined, per se, by rushing players out there post-injury quicker than they need to be out there, right? But disregarding that, phenomenal player, first-round talent, if he is that what he was prior to the injury, Cowboys are cooking, y'all. Cowboys are cooking. I know it's not glitz and glamorous, right? But they're cooking. They are cooking. Will McClay finally got some sleep. Will McClay finally woke up, had his coffee at Starbucks, not sure what he ate, probably a little eggs and, he was like he was like a Canadian bacon, type turkey bacon type Will McClay. He probably don't eat real bacon. He probably eats like turkey bacon in a bagel or some shit. And Will McClay went out there and put some work in day two, especially in the second round. About damn time. Now, once again, y'all, this is going off of production in college, all right? So y'all know our motto over here, week 6, right? Week 6. So we're not going to start, I don't know, we are back in Super Bowl, here we come, and right? We're basing off what they did in college. But thus far, the Dallas Cowboys have had a very good draft. Now, I said this online on Twitter, right? Even though we had a good draft, so have the Eagles. So have the damn Philadelphia Eagles. They kind of, how we didn't have to do nothing. How we kind of sat back in a chair. Oh, shit. Jahad Campbell. Yeah, cool. Pretty much the number one linebacker in the class. Yeah, we'll take that. All right, we'll sit back. Oh, Andrew Makuba. Yeah. Yeah, we'll take that. Appreciate it. You're welcome. All right, cool. All right. Yeah, Ozzy. Sit back. Oh, Malachi Starks. That's what's up. We'll add him with Kyle Hamilton. Oh, Mike Green. Y'all not going to take Mike Green? Oh, cool. We'll add him in Baltimore and add another dominant edge rusher. Appreciate you. Right? So they didn't have to work. Normally Howie is trading up and moving up and doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that. Howie just sat back and said, oh, try Campbell. Cool, I'll take it. We need a linebacker anyways. Y'all said the best linebacker in the draft just falls to us. Appreciate it. We also need a safety. Oh, y'all gonna let arguably one of the best safeties in the class just fall to us? We'll take it, So other teams have improved. With the Commanders getting Connolly and, turn around and got Trey Amos. So that gap that we were trying to close via draft, they continue to move the needle forward too as well. And I know Giants fans got mad. Giants fans got mad on me on Twitter. Hey, Tuck, we had a good draft too, bro. Hey, Tuck. Okay, I like Andrew Carter. I do like Darius Alexander. Jackson Dart. We'll see. We had a good draft. Don't forget about us. We had a good draft too, Tuck. Okay, cool. Giants had a good draft too. So you know what I'm saying? But overall, I just feel like we've had a good draft, but it still hasn't been enough because the voids are the voids. And if you say, okay, Tuck, we don't need to go running back because they're going to bring in who? I think, is Nick Chubb still available? Right. So would they bring in Nick Chubb possibly? I mean, you could, right? I know Keenan Allen's still out there. Would they bring in a Keenan Allen? Coop? So we'll really see. All right, Jonathan, let me go ahead and get to this question. My guy says, Tuck, I'm disappointed. End of story. I know. I told y'all Team Weapons waved that flag because I guarantee y'all they are going to toss in Jonathan Mingo as your fourth round pick, and that is it. All right. So hot topic button, Shadeur Sanders not being taken, I'll say this, right? Ever since the Shadeur, Coach Prime, Jackson State, even Travis Hunter thing, right? It's been a real conversation piece, right? But I feel like the biggest problem that has been with the Shadeur, Coach Prime, this whole thing, right? This is the whole thing, right? Love him. Love Coach Prime. Y'all know Prime is one of my favorite players ever, right? And I do think Shadeur is a good kid. I do think he's a talented quarterback. But I feel like the biggest problem that we have done with this whole situation just from day one is that people who aren't football people got into college football because of Coach Prime, Shadeur, whatever, right? Even your HBCU, going back to that, right? And what I felt that has happened when it comes to Shadeur Sanders or just anything within that bubble, we have oversaturated it, but we have also overprotected it. And what do I mean by that? You guys can kind of see the game is on, right? Is this the Lakers in Minnesota, right? So I don't normally watch ESPN and stuff. Like you guys really know that, right? Unless I'm traveling because I can't watch my YouTube on there or watch content creators. So I watch ESPN just when I'm in the hotels, right? From the moment I woke up today on ESPN, it was Shadeur Sanders not being drafted, all right? Had breakfast downstairs, it was Shadeur Sanders not being drafted. Why should he go, right? Should he go? Where should he go, right? Went to the gym, Shadeur Sanders not being drafted, whatever, right? Came up to get dressed, Shadeur. So we have oversaturated Shadeur, right? In Coach Prime, all right? So then what has also happened is we have overprotected Shadeur in this Coach Prime thing. Y'all remember when Colorado got beat by Oregon, and there were so many people that Oregon in the game of college football ran up the score on Colorado, right? And then it was Oregon's coach was racist and all sorts of stuff because he wanted, bro, it is college football. Running up the score is just what people do. You know what I'm saying? People run up the score every day, but there were so many new people coming in. It was like, oh, Oregon's coach is racist, even though he has tons of black players, Kyrie Jack, list goes on and on out there on the field. He was racist because he ran up the score on Colorado. So people are overprotected, right? So here we are. Do I think that Shadeur is a first-round talent in this draft? Yes, right? Last year, absolutely not. Other drafts, absolutely not, right? But he's sliding in the draft. You saw Jackson Dart go. You saw Tyler go, right? So then it was the NFL and racism, right? And they wanted to kind of paint this narrative, right? That it was because Shadeur is a black quarterback that these things are happening. But jog my memory, the Tennessee Titans just drafted a black quarterback, the number 1 pick overall. Jalen Milroe just got drafted as well, all right? So you can't play that card when it comes to Shadeur. Now, do I think his father, the Coach Prime bubble, that all that stuff has impacted his draft status 1,000%, right? But what is going on with Shadeur right now? It's a hard lesson that happens in all of sports. When you have dark clouds, whether it's ego, off the field stuff, or just shadowing whatever, if your talent does not overweigh that, teams will not bring you in as you consider yourself, right? They will pass on you. They will pass on you if your talent does not outweigh that dark cloud, right? You see it all the time, right? You have some players who have some off the field stuff, right? Some off the field stuff, and maybe they got into an assault or whatever, right? But if their talent is up here above that, NFL teams don't give a shit. Case in point, y'all remember Cam Newton? Cam Newton was in a similar situation, right? He got kicked out of Florida, right? Had to go to JUCO, went to Auburn. Cam Newton's dad, Cecil, was very involved, and people didn't like dealing with Cecil and, the ego of Cam Newton, this and that, right? Kind of the same narratives, right? But at the end of the day, Cam Newton's talent was so up here, teams ain't give a shit. Teams ain't give a shit about none of that. They didn't care about him getting in trouble at Florida. They didn't care about his daddy. They didn't care about anything. As long as Cam Newton's talent was up here, we'll figure out how to deal with his daddy. You know what I'm saying? We will figure out how to deal with his daddy because Cam Newton's talent was all the way up here. Saw someone mention it earlier. Where was it? Jalen Carter, off the field issue, showed up to the combine kind of out of shape. People were saying, maybe he wasn't really focused on football, this and that. But Jalen Carter's talent was so up here, Howie and the Eagles said, we'll figure out this shit later. We'll figure this out later. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like when it comes to Shadeur, he is a talented quarterback. I think he's very mature for his age at the quarterback level, and he can probably play at the NFL level. But dealing with the spotlight, dealing with Coach Prime, dealing with all the distractions that will come with it, his talent isn't drastically over here where you want to deal with that. You see what I'm saying? So that is the situation that's going on with Shadeur. So that's where I'm coming from with it. I like the kid. Y'all know I've spoken very highly about him. From the conversations that I have, I think that he's a very mature quarterback. I like his leadership. I like his toughness. But understand this. There are tons of kids out here are getting looked over, okay? I said it on Twitter and people got mad at me. I can't sit here and show any sympathy for Shadeur Sanders being passed up on when we sat back and watched Dak Prescott be passed over by Paxton Lynch and Connor Cook. Where was all the sympathy then? Where was woe is Dak? When we were sitting there watching Paxton Lynch and Connor Cook's name being called before Dak Prescott. Where was it then? Where was the tweets? Where was it? I just feel sorry for Dak. And Dak Prescott played in the SEC. Dak Prescott had Mississippi State ranked one of the highest in college football, and you couldn't even tell me who Dak Prescott's wide receivers were. Where was the sympathy then? Lamar Jackson got passed over before. There are tons of quality kids who get passed over in the draft. It just happens, y'all. Is it unfortunate? Yes, that these things are happening because of his daddy, but that's what you built. We all knew a situation that happened just like this, but it was in the NBA. When LeVar Ball, right, was doing all of his antics and going on TV shows and my sons 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 and this and my sons and that. The problem was Lonzo's talent was so up here at the time. The Lakers said, I don't give a damn. We'll be able to deal with your daddy. We'll deal with your daddy, right? And still drafted Lonzo. Even when it came to LaMelo. Hey, we'll deal with your daddy. But this kid has unlimited range, right? So if you're going to be the spectacle, be the show, right? Be glitz and glamour and this and that and this and that, right? You better make damn sure that your talent outweighs it. That's how it has to be. That is just sport. A just took it back to the old school, right? Dennis Rodman would miss games. You know what I'm saying? Dennis Rodman would miss practice. He would do all sorts of this weird shit. All angels. We all know what Dennis Rodman was doing off the court, right? But at the end of the day, 25 rebounds a game, shutting down Karl Malone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Just a, you know what I'm saying? Like, so your talent outweighs everything. You see what I'm saying? That's how it has to be. That's how it has to be. So I get it, right? Do I think that Tyler Shaw is a better quarterback than Shadeur Sanders? No, probably not. But if I'm young Kellen Moore, I am a first-time head coach. Do I want to deal with the shadow in New Orleans of Coach Prime? Why ain't my son playing over Derek Carr? Why isn't my son this and that and the spectacle and this and that and the tug and pull? And my son typically don't like to play this. And you can't put a leash on it because you know Coach Prime going to say whatever he feels and they're not doing right by my son and doing this and doing that. Do I want to deal with all that? Or just take Tyler, who has some traits, he has some faults, and just be able to coach him up without the stress and without the micromanagement, right? That is just how things are going when it comes to Shadeur, right? So he's probably going to get drafted, but he's probably going to have to sit, you know? He's probably going to have to sit and learn, just like there's so many other quarterbacks had to do in their career. There are so many other quarterbacks that had to do in his career, right? It just is how it is, bro. There are so many other players being passed upon for other reasons. It's part of the draft. You can't tell me that Jaden Higgins is a much better player than Luther Burden. You don't think a lot of these other players feel slighted when they get all these names called before them? You had Pat Bryant get drafted before Jalen Royals and Jalen Noel. You don't think they feel something right now? But nobody's saying, man, that's unfortunate, man, because Jalen Noel was one of the top wide receivers, and nobody's saying that. You know, it's just part of the process, y'all. So I get it. You know, it just happens. I know Shadeur's a name, but once it's just oversaturation and it's overprotection. And what has happened is kind of like being around it at the draft, right? Being out and about. There were so many people like, they'll come talking like, what are your thoughts on Shadeur? Because they're trying to gauge the temperature, right? And it's just like, some people are so high, key in that he's not getting drafted, which is bullshit. But as a Cowboys fan, I understand it because we go through it, right? People don't hate us Cowboys. Like my dog Tom will tell you, we were just walking the street, bothering nobody. It was fuck the Cowboys and fuck Dak Prescott and fuck this. We ain't talking to nobody, right? But see, what happens is we are so talked about amongst the media, people just hate us. You see what I'm saying? People just hate the Cowboys, and we don't do shit to nobody. We don't do shit to nobody, but since it's put in your face so much, people just rebel and just hate it, you know? And there's other reasons why people hate it too. But, the main reasons why people hate Shadeur and Coach Prime, because it's put in their face, they're unapologetic, right? And it's just the glitz and glamour. It's the same thing that happens with us. When I was sitting at the bar by myself, everybody wants to say, oh, Dak sucks or Dak this. I was watching the draft and there was a Broncos fan with holding a sign that's saying Dallas sucks. What the hell we got to do with the Broncos? But when you are the show, everybody wants to be a part of it. So it comes with the territory, the good, the bad, the ugly. I feel like once Shadeur gets his opportunity, he's going to make the most out of it. It may not just be the ideal situation, but it's going to test your character. It's going to test your character, and we'll see what you're really made of. But I think the kid is talented. I think he's a good quality quarterback. But the game is also transitioning to everybody wants the Mahomes. They want the Josh Allens. They want the Jalen Hurts. They want big arms, size, athleticism. They want that. They want that. And they're looking at traits, right? That's why Jackson Dart, they're just looking at the traits, right? And here's his way to simplify before we pivot back to us, because Shadeur ain't got nothing to do with us because he ain't coming to Dallas, right? Think of this as you're playing pickup basketball, right? You're playing pickup basketball, and you're trying to put together a team, and you see someone who is 6'7", arms bulging out their shirts, they're chipped up, they got the gear, they look the part. More than likely, you are going to say, hey, bro, you want to run? Now, you ain't saw this person shoot a basketball, can he dribble, but they look the part. They have all the traits that look the part, right? Now, there might be another guy who's sitting in the bleachers, but he got jeans on, a hat on, a polo shirt, or whatever. And you're like, man, some boots. Like, this dude ain't serious about hooping. He might be able to drop 40, but he just doesn't look the part. So teams are going with these quarterbacks that look the part. They're trying to find something that looks like Josh Allen. And you have a Cam Ward who can throw on platform, throw off platform, improvise. He can lift a team to a different level, right? That's what they're looking for. And like I said, it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, y'all, he's a grown-ass man. He's a multi-millionaire. We have to stop babying Shadeur and feeling, it's just so unfortunate about Shadeur, bro. He's going to be okay. He's going to go somewhere. He's going to get on a team somewhere, maybe a fifth round, maybe a fourth round, maybe a sixth round, maybe he's going to be able to play football. It's not like he's in need of any money. He had $500,000 around his neck. He's going to be all right. So it builds character. All right. So, Brian, I want a story on Horton or Jalen Royals at wide receiver. Like I said, Jalen Royals. Ooh, also, yeah. Ooh. Forgot all about that, right? I forgot all about that. We'll talk about that. Like Torrey Horton. Y'all know how I feel about Horton, right? I feel like he fits the mold, Jalen Royals as well. Now, I've been saying this. I feel like the Cowboys will probably assume or think that Mingo is their fourth round pick. So when we say, the Cowboys didn't draft weapons, when they lump up this draft and they complete this, and somebody, whether it's James Slater or Nick Eatman or Harris or Patrick Nosey Walker, ask them why they didn't draft weapons, they will say Jonathan Mingo was a fourth round pick. And they're going to tie Jonathan Mingo into this draft class. All right. So I feel like they're going to feel like they already have their wide receivers and they want to coach these guys up. And what scared me the most is when Brian Schottenheimer said Jalen Tolbert was our leading touchdown wide receiver. I know for a fact that Brian Schottenheimer and Jalen Tolbert are like this. If we go back to the interview that he did with landlord Henny and West, right? Jalen Tolbert and Shotty are like this. Jalen Tolbert and Dak are like this. So Jalen Tolbert has two very important sponsors in-house. He's going to get cracks at it. And I feel like the Cowboys are going to run out there with Tolbert, Mingo, CD, Turpin, and sit back unless the shit really breaks. Then they'll make a move. But Tolbert is going to get every opportunity. Mingo's going to get every opportunity to lose this job. So if we go weapons, I think it will, of course, it'll probably be the fifth or sixth. And then it's going to be like, you know what? Just keep it, bro. Just keep it when it comes to wide receiver position, because that's when you're getting into Ryan Flo territory and that, you know what I'm saying? So the instant impact guys, I feel like we really could have got at the wide receiver position. You could have got maybe Jalen Royals, but I doubt Royals gets through the fourth untouched. I doubt Noel gets to the fourth untouched. I doubt Elliott gets to the fourth untouched. So then you might be looking like a Xavier Restaurapo, if I'm butchering that right, because of his 40 time. He could be a guy, clean route runner, but, it's just one of those. Running back. Yeah, Lou. Running back's getting bleak, bro. Because like I said, I think the most important piece when it comes to running back now is like not having that four. I feel like here comes the dash, right? I feel like here comes the dash where there goes Dylan Sampson. I heard something with Caleb Johnson and his knee. Did Caleb Johnson go yet? I don't think he went yet. I was in the Uber. Sampson, Johnson. You'll probably get Tootin in the fourth. So then it leaves my guy left and Devin Neal. That leaves Ollie Gordon, Taj Brooks, Kyle Monaghy, some of those guys, right? And I feel like out that core, if there's a guy you guys already know, I would go with Devin Neal, right? Hands down. But with the Cowboys, I'm not sure if they even spoke to him or if he's really on their radar. So that would be a situation. We can get Shadeur late round, kind of a no-brainer, smart kid, good upside, Dak Armstrong, but love the competition. Now that we just got Joe Milton, y'all. We're not listen, y'all. Don't even fathom Shadeur to Dallas. We cannot waste picks on Shadeur just for a conversation piece because we just traded picks and got Milton, right? If we didn't have Milton, I would probably be over it. But it still would be too loud. But yeah, that's not happening. So yeah, Brian, they ain't trading for Breece Hall. Me personally, I wouldn't trade for Breece Hall. Well, shit, I might have to now since we skipped out on running back. You know what I'm saying? I might have to now because we messed up. But I wouldn't trade for Breece Hall because you got to give up draft capital to get him, and then you also have to pay him. Why do the Jets not want him? Because the Jets don't want to pay him. So you want us to trade you and pay for some shit that you don't even want, right? That's just reeks of desperation when it comes to honestly to me. Yeah, I'm like I said, I like Breece Hall as a player, but trading for him and paying him, nah. J Rob, bro, probably this is the super chat. Dallas went BPA instead of need wide receiver and running back. Yeah, I mean it's kind of a needish / BPA, but I would say that they went needs and BPA kind of in the same breath because I feel like right guard was kind of a need. I think the BPA aspect definitely comes in with Donovan, but corner was kind of a need as well. So a little bit of a mixture of both, right? But overall, like if I had to grade the draft as of right now, I would probably give it an A-. And the only reason I'm giving it the minus is because I don't want them to rush Siobhan back, but I already know they are. I already know it. Once they start putting out those workout videos and shit, I'm like, here comes the rush. Here comes the rush. Neil is good. Did Davian Martinez get picked? I don't think Martinez got picked either. Salute to my Uber driver, cool Uber driver, man. But he was talking. Sorry. Okay. Nah. People asking, yo, are you still out? Dog, no. Those Packer fans, they were getting drunk. And I'm gonna say this, right? Because I'm talking to my wife about this. I gave up drinking, so I haven't had a drink in 2 to 3 months now. You know what I'm saying? Since the Super Bowl, really. So nothing like an alcoholic or anything like that. Just kind of just focusing on myself and focusing on my fitness and health, right? So I wasn't drinking. So surprisingly, I haven't had one drink since I've been down here, and it really hit me like, yo, football and drinking, they go hand in hand. So if I was like a recovering alcoholic or something like that and really just trying to stay sober, the pressure of not drinking at a sporting event or a football event is out of fucking control, bro. When I got to the hotel, as soon as I walked in, they're like, oh, we're having a Budweiser party. So they gave me like 3 free drink tickets for the Budweiser party. Then when you get to the draft, they were handing out like Budweiser or Bud Light, Budweiser, Bud Light, like beers and stuff. They were tossing those out. They had like Bud Light girls tossing out drinks. You know what I'm saying? Then you get to the bar. Everyone's like, oh, you're a Cowboys fan. So everyone wanted to buy me shots. I'm like, no, thanks. I don't drink. Then when you go to the bar and just order a water, like people are looking at you crazy. The waiters looking at you crazy. I said, I want a water. It's like, oh, you just want a water? So then she's like, you don't want anything else? I'm like, fine. I really get like a Shirley Temple or some shit. Like, oh, you want a Shirley Temple? I haven't made one of those in a long time. Ha, kiki. Or then give me a Sprite. You know what I'm saying? But damn, they're like trying to force alcohol down my goddamn throat. And I'm just like, if I was a recovering alcoholic or something like that and battling drinking, you might just want to stay your ass home because it's everywhere. We were literally walking the streets and people are just like, oh, want a beer? Had a beer. Want a beer? Want a beer? I'm like, God damn. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's damn near crazy. And here in Green Bay, like, they pride themselves on drinking. So those people out there was getting drunk as hell. And I was like, nah, I'm getting out of here because they're about to get crazy and get lit and turned up. And me personally, I came to work. I came to, cover the draft and get out. You know what I'm saying? People are like, oh, you don't want to stay and drink and party? Hell no. I came here to get the draft picks, get the interviews, and then get the hell up out of here and get back on my life. You know what I'm saying? Business trips. Conditioning, sports with alcohol. I mean, yeah, it's everywhere. It's plastered everywhere. I guess I never realized it because I never tried to stay away from it, but it's just everywhere, bro. It's just nonstop. You know what I'm saying? Salute for that, bro. I'm trying to establish your self-control. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. Like it felt weird. It felt weird at first saying, no, I don't drink. But then, like, today it was like, I don't drink, because there were some, Green Bay has some sites. Packers fans have some sites. And they're like, hey, you want to take a shot with me? And take a shot. Like, no, I don't drink. Thank you. Oh, you don't drink? Why not? I should say because I got out of prison. I'm a recovering alcoholic and scared of shit. I was like, I just don't fucking drink. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, why you don't drink? Like, do I have to explain why I don't drink? I don't drink right now. I just don't. I don't want to drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I ain't gotta give you a whole soliloquy or I don't want a fucking shot. Like, I'm just chilling, bro. It's quite crazy. Kenneth Walker on the trade back. I doubt Seattle will give us Kenneth Walker, but I like Kenneth Walker. Cam Scatterbo still available or bust. I wouldn't draft Cam Scatterbo because we already have it in Hunter Lupke or Lipke. I do a 5th or 6th for Hall, but I keep hearing like a 3rd pick for a dude's injury concerns or we need a contract off the rip. Get the janitor to tote the rock on this interior line. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, not trading capital, trading a 3rd to get Breece Hall coming off an injury and having to pay him. I should have been with you to take those drinks. Yeah, I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can have them. Like, like I said, I got 4 drink tickets over here. And I'm just like, I set them down in the lobby. They were like handing out drinks and handing out, but the crazy part about not drinking, I'll say, is like, you still end up drinking bad shit anyways, right? Because like I had like 2 Red Bulls. Because like I guess I felt obligated to like buy something. So I was sitting at the bar watching the draft. So like, can I get 2 Red Bulls? But I was like, drinking Red Bulls is just fucking as bad as drinking. And then I'm like, okay, can I have a Sprite? And I'm like, well, that's just as bad with sugar. You know what I'm saying? So, just water. You know what I'm saying? Water, because I don't like club soda. So you don't drink. Come on, everybody, drink. Nah, not really, man. I mean, I do drink. Well, I did drink, right? Like I said, it's been 3 months, but it's like me personally, I'm kind of past it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I guess because I'm getting in my boxing training and stuff and kind of focused on me. It's just like, one, I don't drink because I'm here by myself. So the last thing I want to do is be drunk or, slipping walking around in Green Bay where I've been here the first time ever in my fucking life, and I doze off in an Uber, or some Packers fan snuffs me in the back of my head and I'm just drunk stumbling around. So I can stay on my P's and Q's, especially when I'm OT, you know what I'm saying? So I just really I'm kind of just past it, I really don't need to drink anymore, I would say. So oh no, I'm saying that's how they are when you say you don't drink. Yeah, bro, it's just it's like something's wrong with you, like something's wrong. Like, you don't drink? Why? I should be like, nah, I smoke crack instead. That's kind of my thing. I'm like, oh, you don't smoke crack? Why? Like, goddamn, bro. Like, I can't just have water and chill. You know what I'm saying? I can't just have water and watch the draft, But honestly, like I said, I read and study a lot of people, and like a lot of people that I study, drinking is kind of 99%. Drums got 90% of the time. Good on you, bro. Appreciate that, man. It's just I'm studying a lot of people like 50 Cent don't drink, right? 50 Cent doesn't drink. Floyd Mayweather doesn't drink. My mentor Brandon Carter doesn't drink. So a lot of real successful people that I'm kind of like just following and just modeling and learning from and reading about, like, they don't drink, right? And I'm kind of just like, what am I drinking for? What do I really need to drink for? Just to feel like I need to fit in because everyone else is drinking? Like, no, like, I don't need to drink to have liquor courage. I can go, if I wanted to, I could go be the life of a party completely sober. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was the life of the party at the bar because everybody wanted to ask me 1,000 fucking draft questions. So it's like, I don't need to get drunk. When I was younger, it's like, oh, I need to get drunk and loosen up and have a little fun. Like, nah, I need to have a little fun. I can just chill. You know what I'm saying? I can just chill and still be the life of the party. You know what I'm saying? It's sad that you can enjoy yourself sober without being judged. Yeah, bro. It's kind of like, yeah. So I was like, man, for someone who's like a real alcoholic, it's kind of crazy to kind of see, like, damn. And everyone's like, oh, you don't drink? Well, I'm going to get you drunk. Bro, I just met you at the bar. You're not going to peer pressure me into doing something I don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you don't drink? I guarantee you in a few minutes, you're going to be drinking because that's what we do in Green Bay. Well, I'm from Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Kansas City. I don't feel like drinking, not today. I'm chilling. So, yeah, sober is the best high. Yeah, I mean, I always tell people this. It's kind of like I'm in a situation or a point in my life, and yeah, facts go on. It does hit different, right? But also, I'm in a point in my life where I don't need an escape. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need an escape from the life that I'm living. Like, look at me, y'all. I'm literally in Green Bay, Wisconsin, covering the NFL draft and talking to the Dallas Cowboys' new draft pick. Like, why do I need to get drunk to escape that? I don't need to escape my reality, or, so when you're living a life that you really enjoy, I don't need something to knock the edge off. I don't need, that anymore. It's not like, oh man, I was up till 1:00 covering the draft. I need a fucking drink. I'm like, nah, bro, I was up till 1:00 covering the draft. Like, that's my high. You know what I'm saying? That's some stuff that nobody inside of that bar will ever be able to do. Everybody can get drunk and stumble home, but nobody in that bar will be able to do what I just do. You know what I'm saying? That's my high. That's my rush, to be able to do what I'm doing like that. I don't want to escape that, right? So I appreciate you, sis. Friday sobriety talk. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. So I mean, will it last? I don't know, but I feel like if I got past this, it could really be anything. Like just said, like this was the most pressure because everything was just saying drink, 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 drink. So no more Cowboy Ritas? Probably not, Rico. Like, kind of just pass it. You know what I'm saying? Plus, Cowboy Ritas ain't cut me no check anyways. Look how much promo I've done for Cowboy Ritas. They ain't cut me no check. So they don't have to sell the shit on their own. Yeah, poisoning your body, makes his decision. And like I said, so it's adult pacifiers. Yeah, it's also one of those things where it's like you don't want to put yourself in bad situations. Like let's say, for instance, all right, I went out tonight and I got drunk, right? Because like literally, I was on the phone with Mama Tuck, right, and I was walking past trying to find my Uber, and there were like 5 Packers fans walked past me. They're like, "Fuck the Cowboys, you pussy, this and that," right? And my mama heard it. She was like, "Who was that?" I was like, "Just some Packers fans, some bullshit Packers fans." I said on the phone, and they're like, "What? Come say it to my face." And I was like, "Bro, get the fuck on." That's what I said. Get the fuck on, right? Now that's sober talk, and I just kept walking to find my Uber, right? Now imagine if I was drunk, right, off of 8 shots of vodka and 2 margaritas. I could have gotten to a rumble. Maybe I would have hurt them. Maybe that would have hurt me, but I just wouldn't have been in my right state of mind, right? So it's like, nah, I'm just able to kind of just move differently and just be like, you know what? I don't need to react like that, right? And put myself in bad situations that could be unavoidable. And then all of a sudden you got to see my mugshot and all sorts of shit online because I got into a fight with some Packers fans because I was drunk or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I'm chilling. Tuck, do we draft insanity? I think our draft is good thus far. It's just not sexy. I think our draft is better than the last 2 years thus far, right? But like I said, if we neglect running back, y'all, I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it. I'm really not going to sure like how I feel about it unless they have some kind of trick up their sleeve, which I don't see that happening. Let's say they skip running back and they do trade for Breece Hall. That's not going to be a fixer for me. It's still going to be a head scratcher for me personally. So ideally, I would like the Cowboys to maybe trade up, get back in the 4th round, and go get one of these running backs because they're going to drop like flies, y'all. The wide receiver thing, I waved the white flag on Twitter. Y'all got it. You know what I'm saying? Team weapons, we lost. Team weapons, we lost. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. We'll circle back around next year. Team weapons, just take your L. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it just is what it is right now. And team weapons, go ahead and take the friendly quit. You know what I'm saying? You ever get whooped in Madden, and sometimes you gotta just press that start button, ask for a friendly quit. That's where I'm at with team weapons. I'm asking for a friendly quit. You know what I'm saying? They have left the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm laughing with disappointment. People be willing to die for a football team. I was confused the hell out of me, bro. It'd be crazy like that, bro. It really does. But it was like kind of like kids, you know what I'm saying? You know the type of kids, you know what I'm saying? The fucking kids you got on a Packers jersey, a hoodie under, and some fucking shorts and shit. It's like some punk ass kids, and it's like, but it could be a situation where one of these kids really get hurt, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm arrested in fucking Green Bay, Wisconsin. Ain't no telling what the hell I'm going to get out. You know what I'm saying? So, nah. Are you giving up on the Cowboys? I'm not giving up on the Cowboys. I mean, I think the Cowboys, well, it depends, right? Do I think the Cowboys are Super Bowl contenders? Absolutely not. Do I think that they are a team that is built for playoff success? Absolutely not, right? So my stance when it comes to the Cowboys is pretty much the same. At this point, right? I feel like they got a good team. They're going to beat a few beat a few teams, right? Beat a few good teams, but lose to some quality teams, and we'll be right back here doing the same shit in Pittsburgh, right? I don't think I'm going to Pittsburgh next year. Even I don't know. I might go to the draft in Pittsburgh, but this might be my last draft for a minute. I think I want to start doing something with our fan base, like maybe do something in Dallas, or I even talked about Vegas or Miami or something like that for Cowboys fans. I'm kind of doing that. So, do something like that. But I'm not giving up on the Cowboys where I'm not going to be a Cowboys fan. I just feel like where I've been standing is currently where I'm standing. I feel like we're like a 10 to 11 win team at max. Maybe scrap into the wild card if lucky. But I don't feel like there's a big needle mover that we're moving the right direction where we can say we're serious contenders. I don't feel like we are built to go on the road, beat San Fran, beat Green Bay, and then beat Philadelphia or something like that. We're just not there yet. Pittsburgh is cool. I heard Pittsburgh is really cool because I was actually talking to the people that were over the draft in Pittsburgh, and they were talking to me about some stuff. And yeah, so and we'll see. But I think I want to do something with just real Cowboys fans and just do it with my people. You know what I'm saying? Because this is cool. But I guess it was a good opportunity. I wasn't planning on coming to Green Bay. Wasn't even in the plans, but the NFL gave me an opportunity and approved me and wanted me to come. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and pull up and see. And I'm really thankful that I did because I never got to see how much of a cool city this is if I didn't come. Because I was like, Green Bay, who wants to do that shit? You know what I'm saying? But it's a cool ass town. It's a cool ass town. I'd definitely probably be back. Not giving up, just lowering expectations. I'm with you on this, Tuck. Middle of the pack. Yeah, it's kind of just, we'll be all right. We'll beat the Giants. Maybe split with Washington. Maybe get a game versus Philly. Dak will give us a win versus, I don't know, the Bears or something like that. But here's the crazy part, y'all. The AFC West, all killers. The AFC West went and got some killers. Raiders, Genty, Chargers, Hampton, Broncos, Harvey. And we got them all on the schedule. And for a team who struggles against the run, we might want to fix that. You know what I'm saying? We might want to fix that for a team that struggles against the run to have to go through a Saquon Barkley twice, Amari Hampton, Aston Genty, RJ Harvey. We might want to fix that. But there were some guys that got sniped, right? When Alfred Collins went and Von Broughton went as well. It's like, so I'll say this before we get out because I need to get to bed real quick because I got to be up on a flight. But we'll probably do some stuff tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be back in the studio, so I'm going to drop film sessions and all that stuff. But the way that we have put an emphasis on our offensive line, I think now we need to do that with the defensive line. We need to do that with the defensive line, right? So, especially in the interior. Tuck, you were the first person to have me watching RJ Harvey film. When I love RJ Harvey, I wish I would have had those scouts that told me RJ Harvey was going to be an undrafted free agent at the combine because I would be on their neck right now. I wish and I think one of them did follow me on Twitter, but I just can't remember who it was. But there was a few, it was like 6 or 7 that was telling me RJ Harvey was going to be undrafted because of the ACL injury and his age and, just wasn't enough. And Sean Payton said, shit. Green Bay food rating, it's good as far. So I had the cheese curds. They had some really good wings at this bar. I had the cheese curds as well, but man, they gave me a shitload of cheese curds. So like they had like cheese curds and tater tots and stuff. So like, God damn, it was a lot. But they give you like big portions of everything. So a lot of the food around here is like bar food, like burgers, pizza, wings, cheese, nachos, and stuff like that. It's kind of what I had. There was a nice steak restaurant I was going to go to when I first got here, and I was walking to it, but then it figured out my GPS was saying it's almost like 4 miles away, and I was like, oh, no, we're not doing that. So I turned back around, went to a little local burger spot that's over here. It was cool. They actually have a Vince Lombardi restaurant downstairs. So the hotel that I stay at right now, I guess is where all the teams stay. So like when the Cowboys come here, it's where they stay or whatnot. So they have like a real nice Vince Lombardi restaurant downstairs, but it's kind of expensive and, a little frivolous foods. And, if I'm eating a steak, I want a real steak. I want an 18-ounce nasty one. I don't want like a little Instagram ass steak for $75. Like, nah. Got here a little late. How's the rest of this draft looking for the boys? I'm excited. Not excited one bit. Jose, it's not an exciting draft unless you are a draft head, right? You kind of know what we get, but the names aren't Oh my God, right? They're not jersey sellers, but I think we got really quality guys. So, like I said, overall, I'm probably at an A minus, and that's the only reason why, because I like Siobhan Rebel, but I feel like they're really going to rush this kid back, knowing how the Cowboys move. Gotta have that brat. Yeah, I heard the brats are really good here. I also heard something about their jerky, that they got some really good jerky. Jordan Phillips, Ty Robinson, maybe. I like Nazir Stackhouse as a one tech and a 7. Ty Robinson hasn't gone yet. I haven't looked. Like I said, I was in the Uber headed back, so I'm not sure what happened after I left. 'Cause I left right after we picked Siobhan. So I'll go through it and kind of see what's left tomorrow. But I get back, or should get back, like at 10 a.m. tomorrow in Kansas City. So we'll be able to cook up and do some stuff there. Drop some film sessions on Siobhan and Donovan. There's tons of Tyler Booker films out there, so I'm not even gonna waste the time on that. And then whoever we get tomorrow. But day 3 is fun. I'm excited for day 3 for a few reasons. I really want to see some of my draft kiddos if they get drafted. Like, I'm talking to them like Elijah Austin that I've mentioned before, or Mary Knight, Kendall Paul. Some of those guys. We're going to see if they get drafted as well. So there's still some opportunity out there, y'all. But I feel like for the instant impact, we probably missed it for your weapons, right? Team weapons, I really feel like the ship has sailed, right? Even if you were to get a guy, it's not going to be what we're kind of looking for at this point. So I really feel like the ship has sailed for running back and wide receiver, unless we jump back and get in the 4th round, which I highly doubt that we do. Nick, I love Kobe Hudson, but I don't think that Kobe Hudson is a massive game changer. But I love Kobe Hudson, right? I would like to go get Kobe Hudson. So you're thinking like, it was crazy. Like, I really like Pat Bryant, but I don't think Pat Bryant's going to go that early. And then also Tasala, he went super early. So there's other names out there like Rock Taylor, Ricky White, Andrew Armstrong, just kind of thinking off the top of my head, Nick Nash, like those types of guys. But yeah, it's not gonna. It's a weapon, but it's not gonna put a hole in nobody. You know what I'm saying? It's a little pew pew pew. You know what I'm saying? Pew pew pews. Still a ways to go, but go ahead and pencil Mingo in at wide receiver 2. Draft Isaiah Bond. We could jump into that 4th and get DJ Giddens. Yeah, I'm not sure if they'll take a flight on Bond or what's going to happen with Bond. Bond will probably be, but there is another one, a name that I'll toss out there that is tied to the Cowboys, and Tez Johnson. You know what I'm saying? So could the Cowboys make a flight on Tez Johnson? How would you guys feel about that? Me personally, I would like it. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with Tez Johnson, man. So I appreciate y'all, man, for tuning in. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow with in-studio live draft coverage, gearing up as we gear up for day 3. I appreciate all the support, all the super chats, man, all the tweets and everything, man, being out for Green Bay. It was a great time in Green Bay. Salute to everybody out there. I had a blast, man. I got to go sit in the green room today. Where is it at? Where is it at? You know what I'm saying? There's your boy sitting in the green room where the players were sitting yesterday. So I got to go post up in the green room a little bit. Good time. Walk through Lambeau. So I had a good time out here in Green Bay, man. It was definitely fun. So I'm going to catch some Z's real quick before this alarm clock goes off, and I got to get back on my flight. But we'll touch down tomorrow, and we'll get right back to it. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, CFO Sports. That's the YouTube channel. Also, follow me on all social media platforms at JTuck151. Instagram is booming right now. TikTok is booming right now. It's kind of going crazy. So make sure y'all give me a follow. And if you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, let me know if it's y'all. And I'll follow you guys back. And then and then subscribe to the channel, man. Turn on notification bell so you guys do not miss out, man. So everyone have a good night tonight. I feel good about this draft, y'all. It's not sexy, but I am 1,000% are on board with it. We just got to get a running back. But honestly, I feel like we missed that opportunity because I feel like tomorrow on the 4th, you're going to start getting pulled, man. So everyone stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged, and go Cowboys. Peace.